Hey guys, today is day 16 of the challenge, and I promised yesterday that I would talk a little bit about sleep. I feel like we talk about sleep all the time, which is probably true because sleep is extremely important, and a lack of sleep or a lack of sleep hygiene, a lack of focus and attention to sleep can exacerbate all your other issues, and it can undermine all the other wonderful things that you're doing. So, in the spirit of yesterday's video on adaptation and consistency, I wanted to talk a little bit about the things that help us get good sleep, because so often we focus on sleep as the hours between when we lay down to go to sleep and wake back up. But throughout your day, there are things you do all day long that determine whether or not you are going to sleep well that night. So I want to talk a little bit about those things because they are within your control. And the issue again becomes one of consistency. Change does not happen overnight. Change happens when we're consistent in our patterns of behavior and our body begins to relax and trust us again. Most of the time, when we have problems, your body looks at you as the enemy, because it's your choices, your behaviors, your lifestyle, your diet that caused the chaos in the first place. And so until we are consistent in these things, our body is on edge, trying to determine whether or not it's in danger. And we can talk about anxiety in those terms. And I think actually a lot of things that have happened recently have led me to feel like we need to do another series on anxiety, depression, genetics, and how all of those components fit together. But I want to keep this to sleep. So we talked a little bit about first light, right? And why it's so important to get sunlight as soon as you wake up in the morning. And I had a question about what to do, like if you wake up before the sun is up and it's impossible for you to get that first light because you're already at work. If at all possible, when that happens, just walk outside for a few minutes when the sun comes up and get sun on your eyes, on your skin. What happens when you get light first thing in the morning, natural, not artificial sunlight first thing in the morning, even if it's cloudy, even if it's overcast, even if it's freezing cold outside, you are triggering endorphins and hormones in your body that control your circadian rhythm or your circadian clock. That's your internal clock that determines whether it's day or night and what your biological clock should be doing. So simply by going outside in the morning, you are setting or resetting your biological clock for the day. If you do this every single morning, it becomes a consistent habit. It helps improve your endorphins. It helps improve your mood, but it also is going to set you up for quality sleep later. Don't overlook the importance of this in terms of consistency. Secondly, things that keep us up at night, usually because we're thinking about them, anything stressful, anything that makes your blood pressure go up, anything that aggravates you, annoys you, or bothers you. So, no social media for at least 60 minutes prior to bedtime, preferably longer. No artificial light, blue light, no cell phones, no TVs, no artificial light inside. And if you do have to have exposure to those things, you must be using blue light blockers, because that blue light is also going to set your circadian rhythm off kilter. It's going to tell your body that right now is daytime. It's time to get up, not time to go to bed. But just the overall aggravation. So no news, like no world news, no local news, no reading the newspaper, no watching the news on TV. Don't do it. It's all bad news. It's all crap and frustration and argumentativeness. Just don't watch the news ever. That's one of the best things I ever started doing. 10 years ago, I gave up the news completely. My children are not allowed to watch the news. I don't watch the news, and life is better for it. But social media, the comparisons, the arguing, the banter, the people pushing each other's buttons, the political, the competition, all of it. Just no, don't do it. Don't get sucked into it. So no social media for at least 1 hour prior to bedtime. No television. Absolutely no news. Those things are going to set you up for successful sleep. If you have your phone plugged in your room overnight, move it to the living room, the kitchen, I don't care. If you use your phone as a alarm clock, which I recommend not doing, but if you do, turn it to sleep mode and do not disturb so that you do not get phone calls. You do not get notifications. Nothing happens. As a matter of fact, put it in airplane mode. Your clock will still work. Your alarm app will still work, but it will not be emitting Bluetooth signal or Wi-Fi, and it won't be dinging in the middle of the night to wake you up. But the further away it is, if you can put it in another room, do, because it's going to also reduce the likelihood that if you wake up in the middle of the night, you will grab it, which is going to derail your sleep and ruin your sleep hormones. And it will prevent you from making the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning be look at your phone, which it shouldn't be. Before you go to bed, if you're going to exercise in the evening, make it wind down exercise, something that is good for the soul, good for your lowering cortisol. So something like yoga or stretching would be the best kind of exercise to do after the sun goes down, if at all possible. Before bed every night, deep belly breathing. Jules did a video on deep breathing. We have at least 5 posts on tutorials on how to in different modes of deep breathing. You have Wim Hof method, which actually energizes you. That's something you should do in the morning. You have somatic breath work and vagal breath work that help you to relax and come out of fight or flight. Those should be done before bed. But everyone should be doing some type of deep breathing every day. And you can do it multiple times during the day if you're stressed, if you're tense, if you're anxious, if you're fearful, if you've had a rough day. Those are tools that you can use all the time, but definitely before bed, do some relaxation type deep breathing. I already talked about the Wi-Fi. Shut your actual Wi-Fi off. Like anything that emits a signal in the middle of the night is going to give you low-level radiation. And that is going to affect not just your sleep, but also your mood. Meditate before bed, pray, gratitude journaling. Like I said, in terms of my routine, I go to bed. I will do kind of my nightly routine, which is I put on my mask, I lay down, I listen to either some relaxing music, or I'll listen to my brain tap, or I'll listen to something like binaural beats or the solfeggio frequencies to help myself relax at night while I'm doing my 30 minutes of my mask. Take my sleep strip, take my nighttime vitamins. I'll do, if I'm in the mood for it, I'll do my nighttime mocktail. I don't do it every day now. In the summer, I was doing it every day. Now it's kind of like hit or miss. Sometimes I'll have herbal tea. And I'll have it by the side of my bed, and then I put my sleep mask on and I go to bed. I'll set myself up with my essential oils, or sometimes I will read. If I'm not feeling very tired, I read. That usually puts me to sleep. Or I will play a game. Like something that, like a brain teaser kind of game, crossword puzzles, anything that makes me kind of have to focus. Those are all good things that you can do prior to bed to wind down. But the key is to have a sleep routine. Something, and again, even if you need to adapt it and change it from day to day, where the components are the same every single day, even if the activity is slightly different. So having a sleep schedule and setting yourself up for successful sleep during the day is going to be how, over long term, you have consistency in your sleep, and not just in your sleep quantity, but your sleep quality. And quality does matter. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.